How's it going? I'm Longlegs and we are playing the greatest GTA game. We start off right with some spanking with bondage. Alright Rockstar, this game is for grown-ups, we get it. But you all knew that most people when they first saw this were under the age of 18.
So I did some dumb things, got involved with some idiots.
Pretty much the synopsis for every GTA game. We meet Roman. Roman just has that annoying always-on personality that is so draining. I feel Nico's feeling this from his expressions already, letting the player know there's a Jar Jar Binks equivalent character that will already annoy you the whole game. We meet creepy with the ladies, Vlad. Vlad strikes me as that creepy uncle that always owned a gold Mercedes that's 10 years old but can never afford the same apartment for more than 1 month. And it's becoming increasingly obvious Roman is a bit of a bitch. Not the captain Nico assumed he'd be to steer them to the American dream.
Shit, I almost forgot. I'm giving you my old phone. My new number's in there.
And just like that, the player just performed the worst mistake of the game, accepting a direct communication line with this flimsy excuse of a man. We all know by now this is the worst aspect of the game, Roman's anxiety calls. To be fair though, the first call is Roman saying he's picked up some ladies for an Eastern Bloc double date. Things move fast for Nico, within a few seconds of these ladies stepping into the angry looking stranger Nico's rundown car. One of them is basically asking Nico out on a date. At this rate, ordering an Uber is basically a dating app. Michelle is the name of this low car standard woman. She does demand Nico get some new clothes, which is fair, so we go the extra mile. New, standard bootcut jeans. That's all the change it took apparently to impress Michelle. Nico and Michelle play bowling. Safe to say I was terrible at bowling so far. Michelle was not impressed. However, I turned the date around when I pointed out the penis-shaped bowling neon sign on the wall. I thought this was important to the narrative and to the emotional connection to Michelle. Starting to already see why Roman isn't the most calculated criminal in Liberty City. It took a while to get used to the realistic driving physics. Luckily, the cops in Liberty City won't give you a hard time if you just completely total a car on a main road. Instead, choosing to stand there, still giving you the most passive-aggressive judgmental stares. Another aspect of this game I've always loved is the TV. If you thought you could escape the zaniness of Liberty City with some TV, think again. We sit down to unwind, flip on the TV, and get treated to an Adult Swim style spoof on Halo, where they portray the Spartans as Southern hicks.
I'm recommending both of you sons of bitches for some more medals and shit.
Oh, thank you, Commander. Hey, listen, can we shower together later?
Indubitably!
Halo, to be fair at this point, does feel like the Forgotten South. I've heard the 343 Studios is just rife with moonshine, clearly. Devs screaming at framed posters of Bungie. You think you're better than me? It's a real scene. But now they're using Unreal Engine 5, so all good. Vlad seems to think I'm a fucking intern and demands Nico get him some coffee. And Nico gives the rockstar stare, the main character I'll just take this shit and I guess stare. We've seen it in Marston and Morgan, but the origin of this take it on the chin mantra of the main character of Rockstar started here with Nico, I feel.
Don't tell me if you stole this shit from a hospital or a school for sick kids. My conscience is troubled enough.
Nico evidently still processing that Yarnum orphanage job he had to complete, I guess. Roman, in a rare moment of thinking outside his private parts for a second, senses this torment in Nico and tells him to try move forward, not to take with him the baggage of the past. This is straight after Nico slaughtered a drug dealer's house, mind you, on Roman's request. I can see how Nico isn't super optimistic things have changed. Nico tries to take his mind off things again by watching a magic show at the theatre. Of course, he thought he'd have a relaxing evening here. You forget everyone in Liberty City is just one false move from chaos. Vlad's hoovering up coke like he's terraforming a planet whilst Nico watches. Vlad maintaining that yellowish greenish hue to his complexion. I just love the opposite tempers of each of them. Vlad can't handle Nico's lack of coke fueled emotion.
You're so fucking laid back, moron!
Roman calls up for the first of many, may I repeat, many requests to play darts. What's this man's obsession with arguably one of the most dullest, in quotation, sports to grace the earth? It's reserved for, in quotations, athletes who biologically can never have six-pack abs. It's basically the Special Olympics. So you don't go trying to show the wonders of the city to your down-in-the-dumps foreign cousin with fucking darts. This easy life as well, it's made Roman soft too, and you can see their different tolerances to stress and how they handle this car crash.
Jesus
Life is tough.
When it's just Nico and Vlad in the car, however, the thrills of driving are more in the nose. Vlad ropes Nico into being his hitman by involving Roman already turning into the ugly friend every guy talks to so they can really talk to the pretty girl Nico. The next day Roman calls again. Perhaps you're going to hit the strip club this time, eh? Maybe watch the hockey game, cousin. Let's go. Now he wants to play darts. A cokehead randomly gives me $100 after insulting Nico's culture. I like this. This should be implemented into Reddit and Twitter, demanding anyone that insults anyone must pay the recipient of that hate $100. Roman and Nico have an argument because Vlad is sleeping with Roman's woman. Nico apparently should have done something. I'd love to point out to Roman that it was probably the obsession with fucking darts that made his woman choose a sweaty bald coke man in his 40s. Such is the attractive magnetic pull of darts. Nico finally has enough of this human hoover Vlad. Putting a bullet in Vlad's pale coked up head was so satisfying.
Okay. You're dead like sit up the ass.
Nico's torture banter is on point. Nico goes to rescue Roman from these captors. I gotta be honest, when Nico calmly gets these captors to untie Roman's mouth and then he just starts screaming, I was like, kill him. Just kill him, boys. Absolute moron, Roman. And let's be honest as well, Roman's probably going to call this captor up later for some darts. We meet our next boss, who once again is the human embodiment of transcendental meditation, Falstein. Coke seems to be definitely a problem in this game. Nico once again patiently waiting for this new boss to hoover up some anti-patience powder to then be treated to an erotic dance by Falstein. Can you imagine for a second the disappointment that must be going through Nico's head? You fought in a war and then promised at the end the land of opportunity. You make it there alive by some miracle and then you quickly realize the dream is in front of you, sweating his balls off doing a crotch dance to you. I thought it was done with this kind of imagery by finishing Yakuza 0. You can tell Nico's disgust already with Liberty City, with mini scenes like breaking into a car and he just says,
Why did I come here?
The mission No Love Lost had me chasing comedian Bill Burr on a bike. He basically drove into a car and died just before my limp catapulted body passed him. Nico then casually picks up his bike. You know when a kid falls off his bike but is desperately trying to make it look like it was part of the trick and he's not hurt. Nico's bike skills even getting in the way of him making new friends. Nico and Jacob though hit the strip club. Bless Jacob, he was pretending to be so excited for this, but I think either he gets real nervous around the ladies or he smoked a few too many blunts in the car because he is frozen with fear as we enter the strip club. As we spend a few more minutes there, however, it becomes apparent he perhaps smoked one too many, as he's pretty much hitting on a chair. Roman is so annoying. I'm literally around the corner from meeting him for a main mission. Then he teleports across the map to call me to see if I want to play pool. Sure, cousin, let's get sidetracked by bullshit. But also, let's teach me that teleportation ability you got too, huh? Next we meet Brucey. He's the guy you meet at the start of your first ever Vegas trip, who is pure optimism and misguided bro energy. And then you see with his head in his hands crying as you're leaving your hotel a few days later. He's that guy. We meet Cocaine Kirby Falstein at his house. Falstein's wife taking Nico aside to say,
Then something changed. I never quite knew what it was. So many years I wondered what it was.
Coke. Cocaine changed him, ma'am. On a car ride with Brucey, it becomes clear he definitely has sexual desires for Roman.
Brucey likes pussy. Remember that, right?
Okay.
To be fair, it's also let known he's on bull testosterone, so he could be just so goddamn horny from the roids that even Roman's obsession with darts is a turn on. We meet and talk to Dimitri, Falstein's business partner, who, as any business partner in this game, will eventually ask you to kill his business partner. We abide by Dimitri's paranoia, and after shooting everyone in the club, I finish off Falstein and head back in to pick up that sweet cash and ammo, only to find it immediately filled up again with silent people. Creepy vibes. Whatever drugs they're on is strong. You can witness a whole club get murdered and will not faze you from stepping back on that dance floor. My boy little Jacob phones and says he's worried for me after killing Falstein. I love this guy, he's got my back even when he doesn't have to be involved. Friendship point +5. I hope he got somewhere with that chair. Like the video, let me know in the comments if you too have a romance with a object in your house, you freak. Dimitri betrays me, wasn't surprised, knew he wasn't cool because he only did prescription drugs and wears NOC level prescription glasses. Roman's apartment and business is set on fire as a result of our meddling in Liberty City. He is understandably angry at Nico. Maybe now we won't get so many damn invites to play darts. We live in hope. We meet Manny, who's basically Sinbad doing a music video / streets documentary. He does not want to appear gay.
Do I look gay?
No.
That's for sure. Instantly setting off closet gay vibes. Manny is committed to his monologue speeches though, I gotta give him that. Getting in some pretty gnarly crashes with him, and that is not phasing him at all.
It's too, man. Best of both worlds, man. I see myself that way, man. An entrepreneur who's gonna clean this shit up.
I even blow the back tires out skidding around, and Manny's optimism isn't phased.
Independence FM. Let freedom
Man, this is how to roll.
Roman quite rightly says we should stay low at the moment, so naturally rings Nico to get steaming drunk, the best known way of staying under the radar. This ends in a police car chase, so that was a capital plan to lay low, Roman. Manny is filming again, involving Officer McCreary, a man who belongs in a 70s porno. It's not like the cops here are committed to the job either. Here's a scene I found myself in, with a dead woman's body suspiciously close to Nico's. Nico holding a shotgun. Doesn't seem to alert them somehow. Then I drive over the body. Nope. Nothing out of the ordinary, boys. Back to the donuts. On and off doll date romance, Michelle reveals herself to be a cop. Kind of checks out. She was naturally good at pool. You can tell Nico's let down by this though, because he was kind of into it, I reckon, and he knew. Already thinking of the foreplay cuffing scenarios in his head. Michelle still stays in touch though to give Nico an earful only a real girlfriend would give him. His response was much like any child in trouble.
I'm a big boy and I must make my own decisions.
Before jacking a car and running a red light. Big boy decisions. In fact, it's not actually unusual at all for people in this city to just always be clinging on or interacting with my driving. To be fair, I see why people want to take a ride with me. It is a lot of fun, thanks to this incredible physics engine in this game. Brucey finally admits the steroids may make him do crazy shit, like getting Nico to steal his friend's sports car to race it, only to make it into a crumpled mess, and then gifting that car to Nico. After a killer set watching Cat Williams at the Split Sides Comedy Club, where he and other comedians like Ricky Gervais donate jokes to this game that failed in their real sets, we meet McCreary brother Derek. I like Derek. He's a refreshing change of pace in this game, or at least chemically. Instead of super paranoid hyped up coke addiction, he prefers to keep it chill in the park on some heroin. I appreciate the break. He needs a target taken care of, but he's too Kurt Cobain right now to do it. Me and Packy end up capturing Derek's target from the police, drive him to some cliffs, put him away for good, and after that extreme bonding session of murder, Packy just drives off and leaves me. Cokeheads. Francis McCreary calls Derek McCreary a coward and an idiot because he's talking to a journalist, threatening his chance of becoming commissioner in the police force. Francis orders a hit on Derek, his own brother. Francis blackmails Nico with prison to do it, and there we are, on a roof with a sniper faced with an easy choice. I don't care about the consequences, we'll fight our way out to save Derek. I've got a soft spot for heroin addicts it seems, and Derek is struggling. Maybe this choice will lead to his recovery. After all that, we win a street race in a 4x4 racing supercars. I hear on Weasel News whilst doing it that Francis McCreary has been shot on the radio. We made it, boys. Nico is officially in the drama meta of Liberty City. Back in the day, you had to be a real Richie Rich to be able to afford both GTA 4 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater, but Rockstar the Legends bundled it into GTA 4 anyway. I gotta say, flying a helicopter with a cop hanging off to Wanted Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi is a moment. We meet Ray, who is basically Ray Liotta. Nico really liked Ray, you could tell, not wanting to let go of their little day together. Sometimes the radio is just more entertaining than the game as well.
You better not think of telling your mom. She'll probably just blame you.
My drunk uncle, I have to sleep on my tummy. My drunk uncle, his hands make me feel funny.
I love how NPCs in this game carry on their business, even when you're not in the vicinity of them. I tried carjacking a car, but it was too slow, so he drags me out. Of course, there was also a cop behind, so he gets out and sticks us both up. I, of course, with a sentient mind, run away. I come back a few seconds later, and the cop is walking the guy to the cop car. It felt so good rubbing it in at the window at him. Nico arrives at another mob boss, Johnny Pellegrino's house, greeted by his hilarious wisecracking mother. Johnny explains why people can't just leave mafia families, as they get to a point where they just know too much. What I find funny is all these crime bosses seem to like immediately load their whole history and secrets onto Nico as soon as they get in a car with him, immediately locking Nico into a sworn family every damn time. Bruce E is once again completely normal.
You think I'm getting old? I got the ass of a 17-year-old gymnast and the forehead of a toddler, baby.
More radio hits come in the form of Futurama's Bender doing an ad read about mummification.
Hey, when they burn you, worms beat out your brain. Or they burn the shit out of you. What if I ain't really dead? Even if I'm dead, I don't want that shit. Then I heard about mummification.
And then hearing Bill Hader sell supplement pills.
Thank you. Life makes no sense when fish are gay.
We have the traitor that betrayed Nico and his whole troop in the war, Brevik, on the floor finally. Turns out he sold out the whole crew for a few thousand. Brutal, although be honest with yourself, you probably do it for a 50-90. Search your feelings, you know it to be true, you piece of shit. We're then faced with the decision of executing him or letting him live. We chose to let him live, letting him find out that no games will probably utilize his new 50-90 for about another 4 years will be punishment enough. Nico's then faced with the decision of whether to work with Mr. Xanax Dimitri himself for a lot of money or kill him and stick to the revenge arc. Kate, the Packy brothers' sister, is basically Nico's new squeeze, although he sorely misses the cuff play with Michelle. She basically says Nico won't get any action if he throws away his morals and chases that paper. Roman, on the other hand, is saying you came here for the fast cars and the women, don't throw it away. So we're forced with a very hard decision here, people. Do we listen to Kate, get all romantic, probably lead to a family, which in turn gives Nico the new start he's been searching for, or do we listen to Roman and go play fucking darts? After a long sniper and grenade-filled grind to Dimitri, Nico finally gets the tip of his rocket launcher in front of Dimitri's face, and no, that wasn't meant to be a gay innuendo. Seeing his lifeless, limp body fly from the explosion was satisfying for me and Nico, especially it being on the very boat Nico arrived in. Roman is getting married finally, possibly to the dartboard itself. I tried to impress Kate on the way with some slick driving, but it goes pear-shaped, and here we are upside down in the road on the way to a wedding. Kate's review of the date so far.
This doesn't impress me!
At the wedding, however, Johnny Pellegrino pulls up and does a drive-by and shoots Kate.
This doesn't impress me!
We reach this human embodiment of San Pellegrino, and it is here that we find out the only way Nico can keep this evil man away from the innocent civilians for good is to stay trapped with him in this eternal dangling loop. I know this is considered a bug, but I consider this the true canon ending. Nico, despite the hurt and loss, decides to selflessly sacrifice himself and Pellegrino and trap them in this helicopter loop. This is why you don't see Nico in GTA 5. I just hope one day Rockstar release Nico from this existential time loop prison and just make a damn remaster of the best GTA game ever made. I'm Longlegs, and you hang in there.